Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Cbse Courses with Reeti. Today we are going to start a very important topic of your chapter Life Processes Class 10th Biology. What is respiration? Now you guys actually confuse respiration with breathing. Breathing is exactly a different thing. Respiration, breathing are the two things, okay? And here we have to talk about respiration. If I ask you in general what is respiration, so you may say me that it's the process in which we take in oxygen, take out carbon dioxide, or inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. If you are saying so I am very sorry, but you are wrong here. These all things actually breathing. We are in senior class and now we need to understand what is respiration. Respiration basically is a life process in which your food in the sense glucose, right? Let me just write glucose, formula C6, just a second, H12O6, in which glucose is broken down to form ATP. Like we have a food and we break down it in so that we can get ATP. Now what is ATP is, let us first talk about it. Just forget these things, I am talking about ATP here. ATP is also known as currency of cell. It's and mitochondria may it is formed, right? We learned that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is powerhouse? Because ATP is generated here as well. ATP is currency of cell. Why? Let me give you an example. What is currency for us humans? Not I am talking about cell, but a currency, a rupees, a dollar, what it is. We use it to buy things we need. Okay? Now here currency will obviously not, sales are not going to buy and sell anything, but here currency help us, currency in the sense it provides energy. ATP is formed by the process of respiration, and if we break down this ATP, it gives us energy. That's why we see mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell, because it generates ATP, and ATP actually provides us energy. Sorry, ATP provides us energy. We are clear with that, right? Now this ATP means very important to us, because everything, if I'm talking, if I'm teaching, if I'm moving my hands, all these things that we humans or the animals, cells, everyone use need some kind of energy. And this energy here is provided, means got us, we get it by the breakdown of ATP. We break down ATP to get energy. Now the full form of ATP is adenosine tri. Now please do check out the spelling, don't write it wrong. Tri. Here I am not having space, that's why I am continuing, or else you have to write it. Yeah, just let me write it here only. Why to confuse you all? Triphosphate. Adenosine. You can just remember adenosine triphosphate. A small meaning. And basically triphosphate means 3-phosphate. That is it actually means. Why we are saying it adenosine and things we don't need to really talk about here. Just remember that ATP is generated in mitochondria. It's known as the currency of the cell. Its full name you should know, adenosine triphosphate. You must know that ATP is used to break down. Breakdown of ATP is there to get energy. Now let's come back to the topic. This was actually a recap only because we learned about ATP in very detail in the previous classes as well. Let me just shove it. Okay. Now, formation of ATP and breakdown of ATP. Why I have characterized in two things. If you look forward, so respiration means to form ATP. ATP is formed here, right? Let's say form matlab banana. You have made something. So respiration basically a live process that forms ATP. But ATP is not energy. We break down of energy. ATP is there to get energy. So ATP banna means we have stored energy. And whenever we need energy, we can do what? We can break it up. ATP को break down करके हम energy ले सकते हैं. So here ATP formation कैसे होता है? यहाँ adenosine diphosphate. Diphosphate means 2-phosphate plus Pi. Here Pi means inorganic phosphorus tends to give me ATP. I hope it's clear. Let's say ADP, इसका full form ADP, short form ADP है, plus PI. ये process किसकी help से हुआ है? Respiration. Respiration basically यही है कि ADP phosphate से मिलेगा, adenosine diphosphate जो है हमारा, वो phosphorus inorganic के साथ मिलकर ATP बनाएगा. And this ATP then will be break down to get energy. Now ये बहुत important है. It can be asked for 2 marker very easily and it's nothing to remember actually. ATP form कहाँ हुआ? माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में हुआ. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में हमारा adenosine phosphate diphosphate comes in contact with the phosphate inorganic phosphorus to be more precise. adenosine diphosphate phosphorus से मिलता है to form adenosine triphosphate means 3 phosphate. adenosine triphosphate. अब this ATP now is broken down by energy. Energy helps in breaking down, right? Just a second. Oh, just a second, a little mistake. It's not done by energy. I'll tell you how it is done. तो हमने ATP फॉर्मेशन समझ लिया कैसे हुआ. ADP फॉस्फोरस के साथ मिलके ATP बन गया. Now when your cells need energy, जब cells को energy चाहिए होती है, then they break down of ATP. ATP यानी adenosine triphosphate occurs. So ATP is broken down into ADP plus phosphate plus 30.5 kg more energy. This is what? Energy. We don't need to talk about a numerical क्या है ये कैसे हुआ. Just remember कि ATP जो breakdown होता है, so it gives us ADP, PI that is phosphorus inorganic and energy that is 30.5 kg mole. And ये ATP का breakdown होता है with the help of water. Water की help से होता है breakdown of ATP. And whenever cells need energy, if the cell needs energy, it will do what? वो ATP को break down करेगा. होता क्या है basically? Let me just rub this part and hope this is clear. And let's talk about this process in more detail. Although it's not in your syllabus, so you really not need to understand or make notes of it. But you can just keep in mind in case they give you a tricky question or related to this. So you can add these points up there. This will really help you get marks. Right? So होता क्या है? ATP एक बॉन्ड है जो कि बना है ADP एंड फॉस्फेट से, राइट? Now this ATP when broken down, तो यहाँ से एनर्जी लेट्स से ये ADP, अब फॉस्फेट का एक एनर्जी यहाँ बना हुआ है, यहाँ से अगर ये टूटेगा सो इट विल गिव मी एनर्जी. सो होता क्या है बेसिकली, बॉन्ड जो ADP ऑफ फॉस्फेट मिलके ATP का बॉन्ड बनाए थे, when that is broken down so it gives you energy. ठीक है, बात क्लियर है आई गेस. Now we'll talk about respiration in human means that you're very know about it already. So हम बात करें about humans, respiration in humans or in organisms. Basically we are going to learn respiration in plants and animals, right? These are the where we are going to talk about respiration. But before that we have an important term, that is glycolysis. What is that? C6H12O6. This is what? This is your glucose. Now मैंने यहाँ क्या बोला था, that glucose is breakdown of glucose is broken down to form ATP. हम ग्लूकोज को ब्रेक डाउन करते हैं to form ATP, and that's absolutely right. But before that there actually a process occurs in cytoplasm. Cytoplasm में there is a step that we generally don't talk about, that is the glucose is firstly made into pyruvic acid. That is a 3-carbon molecule. Now I know it sounds like a mess here. Let me just try to elaborate it so it will be easier for you. C6H12O6. We know that our earth is basically dependent on carbon molecules, right? Here this glucose is a 6-carbon molecule, right? And there is a process called glycolysis, from which this carbon molecule, 6-carbon molecule, that is a glucose, is actually converted into pyruvic acid, that is a 3-carbon molecule. Now why it is happening, it's not in our syllabus basically, but this is what in cytoplasm it's happening. So it's a, you can say, a process before respiration or in the respiration, but this is not where it ends. इसके बाद ये ग्लाइकोलाइसिस तो होना ही होना है. Yeast, humans lack O2. अब क्या लिखा? Let me just try to give a more light to it because I know it's a mess up here. So I had carbon molecule, glucose. Glucose कहाँ से आया? From the food we eat, it's having glucose. Now this process, basically यहाँ तक की मैं बात कर रही हूँ. Till here, it is a glycolysis process. सिर्फ इतने का नाम glycolysis process है, और इसके आगे जो होता है, that and all is basically respiration. ठीक है? Your pyruvic acid is CH3COCOOH. A big name, but you need to remember it because it can be asked. Although it's not very given, elaborated in your textbooks, but still you need to learn it. 6-carbon molecule you had in the cytoplasm. What happens is these 6-carbon molecules gets converted into 3-carbon molecules, and this 3-carbon molecules is your pyruvic acid. This is a thing you need to remember it now. Now you will see that why I have written these things. In our chapter, respiration is in animals is of three types. Plants में अलग respiration है, and if I talk about animals, so तीन तरह के respiration है. Basically दो हैं. First is anaerobic. You have learned in the previous classes. If not, so don't worry. We are going to actually talk about it right here in few minutes. Then you have aerobic respiration. लेकिन here जिन तीन तरह के रेस्पिरेशन की हम बात करने वाले हैं वो है यीस्ट बोल लो या एनिमल्स which happens the process of respiration without oxygen. Anaerobic means no oxygen. Aerobic means you have to have the oxygen for respiration. Like us humans, how we do respiration? We inhale oxygen. Why we inhale oxygen? Because we need oxygen for the process of respiration. But yeast, they don't really need it. So they are an example of anaerobic respiration. Human, which lacks oxygen. Let's say you are having a hard time, you are doing a physical work. That time, there can be a lack of oxygen because you are not really able to breathe when you are running or doing any other exercise. At that moment, your body lacks oxygen, but you still need the energy. And when you need energy, so what you do, you actually start the process of respiration and breaking down of glucose, but this time without oxygen or very negligible amount of oxygen is there. So these are the three types of respiration happens in animals. So in all these three, even they are using oxygen, if they are not using oxygen, it doesn't matter, glycolysis process will happen. मतलब अगर respiration animals में हो रहा है, then this glucose will be getting converted into pyruvic acid, that is a 3-carbon molecule, CH3COCOOH. Carbon molecule, 6-carbon molecule glucose convert होगा ही होगा in your pyruvic acid, that is a 3-carbon molecule, and this process is actually a glycolysis. जिसमें cytoplasm में जब हम glucose को when we are getting converted into your pyruvic acid in the cytoplasm, that very process is your glycolysis. ठीक है? Now glycolysis we are not having in much detail कि हो क्यों रहा है, इस साइटोप्लाज्म में बेसिकली होता कैसे है in very detail. We only need to remember that the conversion of glucose into pyruvic acid is a glycolysis. Just this much. Okay. Now we have to talk about in humans. I actually thought कि मैं humans से start करूँ, but then I thought that glycolysis is very important, and don't you worry if you're still having a bit confusion कि हो क्या रहा है. We are going to take each one and then I'm pretty sure you will be cleared. Okay, so for that time just relax and stay tuned, stay focused. Okay, so the board is all filled and I have written few definitions that I want you to read. Anaerobic respiration. As the name suggests, according to me, absence of oxygen. Respiration takes place in absence of oxygen. And here in aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. Okay, now how you can remember it? Here N is coming here, can you see here? No N. So what I did is anaerobic. N means no oxygen. Aerobic means there is no N, hence there is oxygen. N means no, no oxygen. No N is here means there is oxygen. Less amount of ATP and more amount of ATP. When the respiration takes place in with the presence of oxygen, the number of ATP formed is more than that of anaerobic. Like aerobic in humans, 38 ATP are generated. 38 ATP are formed. But here it is just like 2, 3. So you can see how much difference is there. 38, just 2, 3. Therefore, less amount of ATP, more amount of ATP. And please write down this. There are 4 points. You can use them if it comes for your differentiation. Although you have many topics much important than this, but you cannot just unsee the topics that they are. And it's something you have already done in your previous classes, so it must be the easiest one. Example, yeast. That is your bread mold is also example. मैंने यहाँ unicellular इसलिए लिखा है because anaerobic generally occurs in unicellular organisms. But here, in case of this chapter, we are going to talk about yeast only. हम yeast का example लेके समझेंगे. Yeast in the sense of we are talking about you can say a unicellular community. So yeah, anaerobic में yeast, unicellular organisms. Aerobic में you have humans, that is us. We need so much energy, we have so much work to do, and we thus do the process of aerobic. Now I am going to tell you a small thing also. Okay, humans actually fall sometimes in this anaerobic also. Not particularly in anaerobic, but partially in anaerobic. And we are going to discuss it because let's see, this is just an introductory video of respiration. And we just have the intro of the topic. Then we can talk about each one of the following examples. So example, human amoeba is aerobic. Amoeba being a unicellular organism is aerobic. Okay. End products. I'll say just point them up. Not for the differentiation but the whole topic of respiration. These are important. If you remember it, it's really gonna be easy for you to write down the equations. Okay. End products in respiration is ethanol or lactic acid plus CO2. Now ये और का क्या मतलब हुआ? Let me tell you. Like if I talk about yeast, तो yeast में जब respiration होता है, so the products means जो हम पाते हैं as a result, as the product, that is your carbon dioxide for sure. Carbon dioxide रहता ही रहता है anaerobic में, plus ethanol we get. If we talk about yeast, but एक और केस है humans का जिसमें we don't have O2, that is your oxygen. उस time lactic acid और carbon dioxide होता है. So basically this line means either ethanol or the lactic acid. इन दोनों में से कोई एक और साथ में CO2. CO2 is evergreen here. हमेशा CO2 तो है ही product side में. But यहाँ पे ethanol कभी हो सकता है, कभी lactic acid हो सकता है, and we'll take the examples and we'll understand it. So please don't worry about it. But remember this thing, ethanol या lactic acid plus CO2 will be anaerobic. Aerobic, CO2 H2O. Very simple. Very simple. Aerobic में carbon dioxide और water. यही आपको products मिलने हैं. Like us. Let us just talk about, इसको हम थोड़ा breathing से link करके देखते हैं. I inhale oxygen. और ये ऑक्सीजन मेरे बॉडी में जाके क्या करता है? It helps to break down the glucose to form ATP. ATP बहुत सारी हो गई form. उसके बाद मेरे को प्रोडक्ट आया CO2H2O. CO2H2O और ये जो CO2 है that is harmful for our body. Hence we eliminate it from our body by exhaling it out. ठीक है? So this is anaerobic. This is aerobic. I want you to just learn this up, wise it up. In the next video, I am going to start with humans, followed by your yeast, and a special star case. यहाँ पे humans तो है, but anaerobic जैसा behave करते हैं, and we'll figure out why it does. if you know already that why it happens कि humans हमारे थोड़े anaerobic type से behave करते हैं, so just comment me below. If you like my videos, so do like, subscribe and share my channel. Also don't forget to ring the bell hang button so you will get all the notifications of my channel. On my channel there is complete videos of CBSE class 10th, CBSE, that means NCRT. And I hope you are clear with this topic. Till then, bye bye and please subscribe to my channel. Bye.